Very much towards the end of our wait here today. On the screen you see 2 minutes 38 seconds. That screen does have a delay. That delay can vary anywhere from about 5 seconds to about 30 seconds. So we're actually closer to launch than that screen displays. So starting at about 30 seconds before launch on the screen, you're going to actually start watching the side of the road over here to see when the launch will occur. Again, right now, we'll be about under the 2-minute mark. Again, a reminder for everyone, and again for the people that are just arriving, we want to be very considerate. For the people that have been here for some time, do not stand in front of someone that's been here for a while. Stay in your positions. If you're sitting, stay sitting. If you're standing, stay standing. So the people around you will have an opportunity to get a good view of the launch, okay? No reason to change your location right now. You only have about 2 minutes to go, so stay where you are. And again, if you keep your voices low, about 35 seconds after the launch, you'll start to hear the rocket itself. And I guess for those that are doing the video, you'd much rather hear that than the person next to you screaming. So if everybody keeps quiet, you'll get to hear the rocket very well. Now the flight computers will be taking over the countdown during the last minute of the launch. The final go-ahead comes from the launch director, and that'll be at the 45-second mark. But remember, that clock right now is running a little bit behind schedule. Again, there's a delay, so we're actually closer to launch than that. So starting at about the 30-second mark on that screen, I'd start looking towards the road in the area of those traffic lights for the actual launch.
We have launch directors go for launch. All systems are go for launch of Falcon 9 with the O3B mPOWER payload.
30 seconds.
By the telephone pole.
9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Full power. And go. Falcon 9 and SES O3B mPOWER. Stage 1, full stage double.
That burst of smoke that you see is when the vehicle goes past an area in space called the thermocline. It's a rapid change in temperature that'll go back to normal again very shortly. Again, on the screen, the vehicle now is passing 13 kilometers, 14 kilometers in height. That comes out to about 8 miles. Next major event for us, of course, will be the landing on the drone ship. You'll see that 8 minutes, 46 seconds into the flight. For those that are staying for the Falcon Heavy, that's 3 of these boosters strapped together, going up at the same time. And that should be later tonight. Again, following right now, about 2 minutes, 10 seconds into the flight. 6 minutes from now, you'll be watching the display. Right now, you're looking at the onboard camera, looking backwards at the Earth as we're firing those 9 Falcon 9 engines. We're about 2 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight right now. Very shortly passing 40 kilometers right now at 39. 40 kilometers is 24 miles up. We'll begin what we call main engine cutoff at 2 minutes 33 seconds. So very shortly, you'll see those engines shut down, and you'll see another camera that will show you the second stage engine, the single Merlin engine turning on. That'll occur very shortly. There is the view, and you'll see the separation coming up as the first and second stages separate. And that view will be to the left and the right. There's the first stage dropping away. You'll see the second stage engine turning on, and there it is. The second stage is now turned on. That second stage will continue to head into space. That burn on the second stage will last for 5 minutes, 17 seconds. And right now, the first stage, which is on your left. Your first stage on the left, at the very front, you see those grid fins. They look like waffle pegs. If you go into the Gateway building, you'll see that Falcon 9 displayed with those two grid fins. The rocket is still increasing in altitude. That's only because it has a lot of inertia. It'll start turning around very shortly. Under the left side, you see where it says 105, 106. That's kilometers above the Earth, so it's about 63 miles or so. Right now it's 110. It's going to peak and start coming down. So again, it's like a rock that you throw up. It starts slowing down, and then it'll start turning around. Right now it's 116 kilometers. And again, that's going to be roughly about 70 miles up, 119. Very shortly, you'll see that beginning to come down. On the right-hand side of the screen, you see the second stage engine, the single Merlin engine, continuing to send our spacecraft into space. Right now at 122 kilometers, 123, you'll notice it's going up a lot slower. Gravity's starting to pull it back down again. At 124 kilometers right now. And again, you can see it's a clear blue sky with a lot of clouds there over the southeast here, very close to the Bahamas. We're at 125 miles right now. We should hopefully be peaking right about here. So let's take a look. Hopefully you'll see that 125 go to 124, and there it is. We're now descending, okay? We've gone as high as we're gonna go, start making our way back to Earth. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the speed continuing to increase, now almost going 12,000 kilometers per hour, altitude 155 kilometers. Okay, our speed is continuing to increase. You'll notice that number at the bottom of the left of the screen, 7609 right now on the meters per second, 118 miles up. You'll see that number continue to drop. Right now we're doing some firing burns to get aligned with that launch platform or landing platform. Just read the instructions. It's about 400 miles away from here. Just before the landing, we'll get a landing camera on that barge and hopefully be able to see that rocket stage land. That landing about 8 minutes 46 seconds after the launch, about 3 minutes from now.
Our two OCD Empire satellites.
And you're going to see the fairing separate now very shortly. The fairing is what surrounds the spacecraft. I thought they were showing a replay of that. Right now you see the weather over the Bahamas is a whole lot clearer than it is here. Notice how the speed is picking up. Now 89 kilometers above the Earth, 87, 86, 85 as we're continuing to decrease. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're picking up speed, now going almost 16,300 kilometers per hour. The thrusters firing that you're seeing on the left-hand side is the first stage. We're maneuvering that stage to go to the landing ship. Again, that landing will occur 8 minutes 46 seconds after the launch, a little over 2 minutes from now. That is one of the landing burns. Out of those 9 engines, 3 of them turn on to slow down that descent. We don't want to come down too fast. Right now, about 50 kilometers up. That's about 30 miles up right now as we're continuing to descend. Very shortly, in the next minute or so, we'll go to the ship camera, and hopefully you'll be able to see this rocket land on, just read the instructions. It's the ship that's parked about 400 miles to the south here. Really pretty blue sky over the Bahamas.
Second time after previous basically having supported these.
Okay, that's a full screen display of the second stage. Again, the second stage burn is expected to continue till 8 minutes 1 second into the flight. That burn duration about 5 minutes 17 seconds. Well, then there are several events that will occur well after the time you're gone. About 27 minutes after launch, we'll turn on that engine a second time. Right now, we're about 45 seconds or so away from the landing. So I'm expecting they'll switch to the camera on the barge and hopefully be able to see the landing as well. Okay, you can see we're coming considerably closer on the left-hand side. You can see the clouds coming up right now, just about 5.5 kilometers. So that would be about 3 miles above the ground right now, looking for that barge. Hopefully we'll find it very shortly. Landing should be in about 15 seconds. I hope they switch to the landing on the barge camera. That's our final landing burn to really reduce the speed. You can see the barge right above the flames. And there's the big X in the middle of the barge. There's the legs that came out. And we've landed on the barge. Okay, folks, we cover the landing on the barge. Very shortly, the second stage engine, the shutdown should have occurred just a few moments ago. There's the barge camera. You can see the rocket stage is on the barge now. Now, normally I'd be sending you home for the day, but again, we have that second launch coming up.